Hi, I'm Bree McAdam, court reporter with the Saskatoon Star-Phoenix, and this is The Docket, where I talk about the court cases that I've covered during the week. And this was a heavy week for court cases across Saskatchewan, starting on Monday, when a series of decisions came down in Prince Albert that I think took a lot of people by surprise. Justice Catherine Dawson ruled that a secretly recorded conversation between Curtis Vey and Angela Nicholson, in which they discussed ways to kill their spouses, would not be allowed as evidence at the trial. Now, this decision came down before the trial even began. So with the Crown losing its key piece of evidence, it chose not to call any other evidence at trial, and the pair was found not guilty on 2 counts each of conspiracy to commit murder. Now, Nicholson and Vey were having an affair when Vey's wife discovered the alleged murder plot back in 2013. She had been secretly recording her husband only because she thought he was cheating on her. Bridget Vey gave the iPod recording device to police willingly. But in her decision, Justice Dawson ruled that Bridget had illegally recorded the conversation because she wasn't a participant. And she said that Vey and Nicholson had a reasonable expectation of privacy when they had the conversation. And therefore, they had the right to challenge the unlawful search and seizure of the device that contained that conversation. And now, lawyers were able to make this argument based on a recent Supreme Court decision. Police accessed, downloaded, and copied the conversation, which Dawson said constituted a warrantless search and a charter breach. This case went to trial 3 years ago in Prince Albert, and a jury found the pair guilty of conspiracy to commit murder. But the Court of Appeal overturned the decisions, and not with anything to do, it had nothing to do with the recordings, actually. The Court of Appeal's reasoning had to do with errors that the trial judge made in its instructions to the jury. So, in summary, Angela Nicholson and Curtis Vey were convicted and sentenced for conspiring to commit murder against their spouses. They appealed. They were released on bail. Their appeal was successful, and they were ultimately acquitted on retrial after the recording was thrown out. Now, Crown Prosecutor Laurie O'Connor spoke to us outside of court and said that the Crown's decision not to call any further evidence on the trial has to do with preserving its ability to appeal the charter decision. Moving on now to Ronge, where a very tragic story came to a conclusion as a 19-year-old man was sentenced for the brutal killing of Ronge restaurant owner Simon Grant. This man was actually a youth, 17 years old, when he hit Simon in the head with a baseball bat during a robbery at Simon's barbecue restaurant in April of 2017. He knew Simon because Simon and his wife Cora had taken the boy into their home when he had nowhere else to go. The teen pleaded guilty to manslaughter, and the Crown had proceeded with a special hearing to have him sentenced as an adult. And this would essentially allow for the potential for a longer prison sentence, as opposed to the maximum youth sentence for manslaughter, which is 3 years, and served in a youth facility. Yesterday, Judge Robert Lane sentenced the teen to 9 years in prison, minus an enhanced remand credit of about 3 years. Now, I wasn't able to travel to Ronge for the decision, so I spoke to Cora about it yesterday by phone. And she said that the judge really focused on the severity of the attack and the high level of planning. The fact that this teen manipulated 2 of his friends into helping him and provided the weapons and masks. And Judge Lane, she said, wondered why, if this was supposed to be a robbery, the teens felt the need to brutally attack her husband, who had no weapon to defend himself. Cora also described how the judge really urged the teen to take advantage of programming while he's in prison, adding that's what Simon would want too. As always, you can read more detailed accounts of these stories at thestarphoenix.com. And you can also follow me on Twitter for tweets from the courtroom at BreezyBreeMC.